Hello there, Taurus. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot forecast. I am changing the format a little bit this time. Instead of breaking this down into weeks, I think I'm going to be breaking this down into half of the month at a time. Now, the last forecast that I did for December actually went through January 2nd. So this is going to start January 3rd and run through January 16th for the first time frame. And then the second time frame will cover the rest of the month. So what I was finding was that sometimes we were running into redundant situations whenever I went week to week to week. So this is going to be still in depth, and I think it's going to be in depth enough to help us navigate the energies, but not to the micro level that we had it before. Okay, so anyway, let's get started with putting down some cards. Thank you very much for being here. Also, thank you to those of you who put thumbs ups on these videos and share them out with others. I do appreciate that. And thank you, of course, to those of you who are purchasing the expanded readings and finding use in those. And then, of course, last but not least, thank you to those of you who are buying private readings and private Reiki sessions from me. And it is really because of all of you guys and your support that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So I am very grateful for all of you out there and honored to be able to be of service to you. Oh yes, and also thank you for those of you who contribute during the live sessions with a super chat. All right. Let's begin. During the time frame between January 3rd through the 16th, what we have going on in your environment. It looks like you are coming back to an environment that you were in before and sort of resurrecting some things in that environment, bringing those things off the back burner onto the front burner where you're giving them more attention. And it looks like this is something that feels really good to you, that you're getting good benefit from getting back to this old environment and sort of resurrecting things around there. Of course, this is, right after the New Year's holiday and after Christmas, so this could be, in a normal year, this would be people coming home from Christmas vacation with their families. But this could be, a little bit different. This still could be coming home, or this could be getting back to work, whether you're getting back to work at work, literally, geographically, or whether you're getting back to work and working from home. Either way, I think that this would be something that would fit into what I'm seeing here, that there's benefit coming from going back to a place and picking things up that had been laid down before. So for quite a lot of you, this could be about work energy. Doesn't have to be. Just your environment, whatever environment that might be. Alrighty, next thing that we're looking at, though, is your subconscious leanings, Taurus. Alright, so Taurus, it looks like there's a person that you're thinking about at a subconscious level, and this person is somebody who they're natural leaders. They like to be in charge. They enjoy that. They enjoy the challenge of that, actually. This is somebody who, they enjoy the challenge of handling that responsibility. There's somebody who can be a little bit overbearing and a little bit more aggressive than is necessarily comfortable for some of us, but anyway, this is a person who naturally takes a leadership position. And I think there is something going on in this person's life that has really shaken them up and sort of taken them away from home. They've either felt detached from their family, or they have literally been taken away from what they would normally consider their home. Okay, and so this is somebody who you have in your subconscious that you're really considering, how can I be a help to this person? Is there anything I can do for this person? Okay. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about learning style and communication style during this time period. So, learning style. There is a lot of confusion that you're trying to dig through right now. That's really accentuated in 2 out of 3 of these cards that I'm looking at to see your learning style. So there's a lot of confusion going on. I think by the end of this time frame, it starts to clear up. You start to get enough truth to see how some of these puzzle pieces work together and how they fit together. But I think for a good 2/3 of this time frame, there's just really confusion and more confusion until we get towards the last third of this time frame, where things start to really clear up and come into the light, where you start to see how some of the puzzle pieces fit together. There's still a little bit of confusion, but I think that the bigger pieces are starting to become apparent here. Now, as far as your communication style during this time frame, I kind of feel like I get the sense, Taurus, that there's somebody that you're trying to offer a truce to. You're trying to offer a truce. And I feel like you're offering this kind of tentatively. I feel like you're not really sure if this person is gonna go for a truce or not, if they're gonna accept a truce or not. So that's one thing that's coming up during this time frame. I also feel like, Taurus, a lot of you have either a counselor or a really good friend that you're sort of spilling your guts to. I feel like you're telling them everything during this time frame. And I think that by talking to this person, this sort of helps you sort things out. For some of you, the person, whether it's a counselor or a friend, is going to be asking you some questions or saying things that kind of help you sort these things out. But I feel like for a lot of you, the biggest thing that's helping you sort these things out is just hearing them come out of your own mouth. And as you're hearing them, you're able to sort of get a clearer picture of them than you were when everything was just thoughts swirling around in your head. So this is helping with relieving some of that confusion that you've been dealing with as you have this communication going on. What else do we have? There is something that you're really afraid of at a deep level, Taurus. And I think whatever this is, that is this deep level, deeply rooted fear, I think you're actually communicating that with somebody. And I think that as you're communicating it, I think that you're finding some healing around this fear to where it's not going to be holding you in that tight grip that it's had on you before. That just by communicating about it, you may even be doing some inner work or some psychic work on whatever this fear is as well. And so that may be bringing the healing in. So this may be not even so much communication with somebody else as much as it's just you taking a good look at this and looking at what you can do to heal it. And I feel like that may be an energetic healing that you're working on there. Excuse me for a second. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at here is work. It looks to me like you're really focused right now. You've been pretty unhappy and feeling restricted by the work that you have been doing, but you're really focused on, or maybe by the fact that you haven't been working for some of you, but you're really focused on getting into a new beginning and really going forward with that new beginning when it comes to work. Now that's outer work. That's how you make a living or how you feel productive in the community. But let's also take a peek at inner work, those things that you do to improve your own self, to make you happy with who you are. So inner work, once again, we see a real focus coming in. And it looks to me like you're focusing on what your attitude has been lately. And I think you're focusing on lifting your energy level from wherever it was before into a higher vibration, into a happier space as you move forward through this time frame. That's your inner work. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we're looking at is where your personality is being grown, I should say, or expanded during this time frame, Taurus. So let's take a peek. I'm being reminded of something that we used to say in the military all the time whenever we were going through paperwork stuff, red tape stuff, whatever you want to call it. You know, it was always a game of hurry up and wait. And as I'm looking at this, where you're growing or expanding, you've got some situations where you're just waiting for something to happen. And then when something happens, moving really quickly on that thing, you know, taking that and just really moving with it, possibly even in multiple directions. So there's this idea, because this is part of your personality that's being grown or expanded, I think this is happening with more than one situation during this time frame. And I also feel like whatever this is that you're waiting for, and then once it comes through, you're just running with it. I think that is making, first of all, I think that's improving your financial situation, but also I think it is making you feel less alone or isolated or left out socially as well. All right. Actually, I think this is what we're going to look at. We're going to try, I think I'm going to see what it is that you're actually waiting for here. So we're going to set that aside and see what that is. If that's a work thing, if that's a relationship thing, we just want to see what area that comes up in. Okay. Next thing that I'm looking at here talks to me about things that you stand for. Okay, so this is going to be something that either you've done or that has happened, and somebody is coming to you and they want an explanation. Or maybe they're confronting you and you have to actually defend this situation or this decision. So this is something that you stand for during this time frame. Now, wow. Why would you stand for this person? I have no idea why you're standing for this, but what I am going to tell you is we have a situation here where there's a person who has been really angry with you, and because of their anger with you, they basically told you things that were not true, and they detached in some way from you, possibly financially, possibly they detached from communicating with you, possibly both. And this is a person that you're standing for, you're defending. So maybe you understand why they're angry. Maybe you understand why they took these actions. But somebody is coming to you and saying, geez, what a jerk. I can't believe he did that to you, or whatever. And you're actually standing for this person. You're defending this person. So how the other person sees you after you've defended this person, they see you as somebody who is, I'm going to say, a wise woman. I know that there's like 2% males who watch my channel. So for most of you, they see you as a wise woman. If you happen to be one of the 2% males, then I'm sure that that might not be exactly how they see you. But a carrier of wisdom, let's say that. And I think basically they're seeing you as a wise person who recognized what's going on here and who made a decision to cut this other person off. So it looks to me like this person may have detached from you and pulled back from you, and you may understand why they did that, but you've also cut this person off as well. Or at least your person that you've explained this to assumes that. Okay? All right. Let's look at your flex period. The flex period is where you have a lesson or experience that comes up, and we look at the lesson or experience, and we look at what happens as you incorporate that lesson or experience into your life, because this is sort of where things start to change direction based on what you do with this lesson or experience. So what do we have for the lesson or experience in the flex period? feel like you're feeling really despondent and like you have no energy because there's something going on with a partner, somebody that you would consider a partner, whether it's romantic, business, friendship. Um, I think that somebody out there, you call this person your partner in crime. Whether you're really in crime or not is probably a whole different story, but it's just the same. But anyway, this is somebody in your life you would consider yourself to be a partner with in some way or other. And you're feeling really despondent because, first of all, you guys are having a hard time being on the same page. But part of the reason you're having a hard time being on the same page is because there are secrets between you now. And you're not used to the idea that there are secrets between the two of you. And I think that you hate it that you guys aren't on the same page. And that this person doesn't feel comfortable sharing secrets with you. All right, so that's listener experience. What's going on as you're incorporating this into your life? I think that you're really putting a lot of energy into trying to sort this situation out and trying to figure out what is really going on here. I think that this situation is not only one that you're taking very seriously, but I think that you may be having, a complete emotional explosion over this situation. But I think also you're looking at it as, after you have your explosion, I think that you're able to kind of step back and look at this a little bit more, and you're able to really be self-sufficient. You're able to act in a way where, you don't need that partnership. You can actually do very well on your own. And so I think that you start to do very well on your own once you're realizing that this partnership isn't working anymore. At the same time that that's going on, once you're starting to get to that point of, you know what, okay, I get it now, I've got this, I do feel like this other person is sort of goading you. They're sort of, they're saying things to try to get a reaction from you. And I think that, now that you've come to this place where you're cool, it was an unfortunate ending, but you're cool on your own. Now they're trying to goad you. They're trying to get a reaction from you. I don't feel like you're giving them a reaction. I feel like you've kind of accepted that, this person is basically just trying to manipulate you. And you're recognizing that as it happens. And so you're not falling for that manipulation, falling for that bait. You also still have it in your mind that this person still has secrets from you. So whatever they say over here to try to manipulate you or get a reaction from you is really kind of meaningless unless those secrets come up and you know exactly what it is you're dealing with them. And so I really feel like with this coming to this point of acceptance about what's going on here, I really feel like, you're not happy about this, but you're picking up and moving forward. I think you've accepted that, okay, this is the way this person wants to play this game. That's unfortunate. I thought we made a good pair, but I don't want to play that game like that. And so I'm going to go move forward with my life into something that fits me better. Okay. Next thing that we're looking at here talks to me about where we see you at the end of this particular time frame. So where do we see you? Yep. Whoever this person was, whoever this partner was that you had the falling out with where you just couldn't be on the same page, I think you're cutting them off. You're withdrawing completely. You're not giving any more energy to whatever that situation was. You're spending more time with friends who really are friends. And I think you're really enjoying the fact that they're encouraging you. They're lifting you up. They're acting like friends act. They're there for you. They've got your back. And I think that while that feels good, I do think that at night when you're alone, maybe even just laying in your bed, you do have this going around in your head where you're kind of second guessing this whole idea of pulling back from this person with the secrets. And so you're feeling a little bit like, I think you're questioning, was I too hard on that person? Am I being too emotional? Why do I miss this person so much? There's a lot of that going on when we get to the end of this particular time frame. So I really feel like with that card coming up, even though you've got a good support system and even though you've pulled back, I really feel like, for you, this isn't over. You're still really spending a lot of time turning this over in your head and trying to figure out, what could be the alternative ending here. Okay? So that's where we see you at the end of this particular time frame. I'm going to take a break from this video. I'm going to go ahead and expand on, I think that was the work situation, wasn't it? Where you were waiting on something and then really running with it, and then it made you feel like it brought in more money, but also it made you feel more connected with other people. I think that was our work situation. Anyway, we're going to look at what this is that you're waiting on and maybe even how you're running forward with it, and just look at this in more specifics. So if you're interested in that, then you want to check out the expanded reading. That will be in a link below. It'll be in the description box below this video. And if not, then I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes and we'll finish out your month on the next video. Well, the next half of this video. See you soon. Welcome back, Taurus. This time what we're looking at is January 17th through the 31st. Just to see what kind of energies are influencing you. Woo woo. Let's see what shows up. All right, let's put down some cards for you guys. Thank you very much for spending some of your valuable time with me. Thank you also for thumbs upping this video and for sharing it with others who may find it beneficial. And of course, thank you to those of you who support me by purchasing the expanded views, and those of you who get private readings and private Reiki sessions from me. Thank you, thank you. Oh, and I can't leave out, thank you for the support, those of you who give super chats during my live chats. So thank you to all of you. It's because of you that I get to do what I love for my living. Your cards are on the table, so we're going to take a peek here as soon as I get a sip and see what's coming up for you. Okay, Taurus, first thing that we are looking at is your environment and what is going on here in the environment. So it looks like what we have going on here is that you are spending some money on your environment, or you may be really working hard on your environment to the point of burnout even, either one or the other. And I think what's going on is you've manifested the exact opposite of what you actually want in the environment. And so that's why I think you're investing either this energy and effort or financially in the environment, because you're just not happy with what's actually happening there at the moment. You're working on trying to make some changes with that. All right, next thing that we're looking at, Taurus, for the second part of January, is we're looking at your subconscious leanings. What do we have? So it looks to me like there's a little bit of pity party type energy showing up in your subconscious leanings, feeling sorry for yourself about something that's been going on that has not gone in the way that you had hoped or expected, or maybe even needed it to. And so in your subconscious, you're kind of thinking about what are different ideas. You're thinking about just flipping from, okay, I was working with this situation, now maybe I should try this one, maybe that one will work better, and or maybe this one. And so you're really looking at all these different options that you can do to get more of a result that you actually wanted from whatever the original situation was. And so I think I think as we go into this time frame, the energy is really scattered as far as what it is that you actually want to focus on to bring about the results that you want. And as you come to the end of this time frame, I think that you're narrowing that focus down to what it is that you really need to work with to make those things happen. Actually, I'm going to tell you, I don't like to pick things out so early in the spread, but I think we're going to look at more of what this is specifically that you're working on in your subconscious for our expanded reading. We'll come back to that in the expanded, and I'll put the link down below if you're interested in checking that out. Next thing we are looking at talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style. So for learning style, I feel like there's a lot of Neptunian energy whenever we're looking at your learning style, which means there could be a little bit of rose-colored glasses, rose-tinted glasses here as you're learning things. So you can be, I feel like you can be learning new things, but there's an element of illusion to this. And so I don't think you're getting the full picture about whatever this is you're finding out about here. What else do we have? I think you are. I'm going to tell you two things. First of all, I do think that you are finding out more about what actually makes you happy and how you can incorporate more of that into your life. Both of those. So not only about things that make you happy, but also how you can do those things more or have those as a bigger part of your experience. What else do we have in learning style for this time frame? I do think that you're learning some new things, but I think that some of the new things that you're learning here are being learned with a great sense of humor. So somebody may have a great sense of humor that's teaching you some things, or maybe you're learning to be a stand-up comedian. I don't know, but there's something about a great sense of humor coming up as you are learning certain things. And I think these are probably fairly new things for you. I don't think you're building on a foundation that you already have here. La da 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 da. Communication style. There's somebody in your sphere of influence that your communication is a little bit dreamy. Dreamy in the idea that it's not really firm communication. You're not really committing to anything or making firm plans, but also dreamy in that it's very hopeful, it's very optimistic type of communication. I don't want to say that you're leading somebody on because I don't get that feeling from it. I just feel like I don't know, maybe like, maybe you've drank love potion number 9. Maybe somebody's put some kind of enamorment or enchantment spell on you or something. Not literally, but I do feel like there is somebody that you're not viewing the way that you normally would. You're not communicating with them in a very down-to-earth type of way. I don't think that you're being untruthful. I just think that you have really wonderful ideas about things that could come that maybe are not so much grounded. Once again, we've got this Neptunian energy really coming into this picture for me that says there could be a lot of illusion. There could be a lot of fantasy with this communication. And I think that's very much tied to our learning, the aspect of learning that has to do with that fantasy, Neptunian energy again. Let's see. What else do we have for communication style for you? I do think you're doing a lot of communication with your friends. I think there are points where you're going to be asking yourself, why can't I shut up? There's going to be something that you're really excited to talk about, and nothing's going to be able to shut you down, basically. Also, for communication style, it's interesting that you've got that much communication going on with friends, and we've got this dreamy, soft type of communication coming up with somebody else. And then we also have a communication style going on here that is very much, oh, you think you need to know this about me? I'm not talking to you. I'm not sharing that information with you. I won't say that this person is 100% completely blocked, or this group of people, however that may play out in your experience. But I do think that there's a lot of sitting back and watching the communication that comes in from them and not necessarily responding to it, or responding in a very brief and distant type of way. Okay? All right, so that's learning and communication. Next, we're going to look at work for you during this time frame, Taurus, from the 17th through the 31st of January. Okay. What do we have for work, Oh, what is that? I'm hearing the song, and the beat goes on. I think it's one that Cher used to sing, maybe even Sonny and Cher. Anyway, those are the only lyrics I hear, and I'm a terrible singer, so if it's not in the right rhythm, this is what you get with me. Nothing else I could tell you. But I feel like there is definitely something at work that you thought was done, you thought it was complete, you thought you weren't coming back to it. It's back. It's back. Now, when I first see this, to me, this is like, okay, so I thought a contract was over. Turns out the client needs more. This is a good thing. I just think that work that you thought was done and over is coming back. So this may be a client that's coming back. To me, it's a good thing. It could also be that for some of you, maybe it's not such a good thing. Maybe you thought this was done and over and complete, and thank goodness, because your workload is heavy enough without having things come back from the past. But this is coming back from the past. So I feel like that could play out different ways for different ones of us, just depending where we are with our workload for that. I do feel like we are picking up new responsibilities. So it could be that, maybe somebody in your corporation botched with this client and now they're back to have a fix. And so now maybe you're picking up that let's fix this project energy, and you're taking care of that and handling that. Or you may just be straight up getting a promotion at work. All right. There is definitely something that you could do at work to improve things for you there. And I see you really focusing in on that as well. Now let's talk about inner work, those things that you do to make yourself happier with who you are, make yourself happier with your own integrity. It looks to me like there's something that has been a thorn in your side for quite a while, and you might have thought you got rid of it temporarily for some of you, but not all of you. For some of you, it's just straight up been a thorn in your side for quite a while. And I think that you are coming to a point of acceptance during this time frame, that second half of January, where you're coming to accept that this thorn in your side, it's just the way it is. Maybe this is something going on where somebody you interact with has an insecurity, and so you have to reassure them over and over and over, and it seems tedious to you to reassure them of whatever this is. But so in this example, which doesn't have to be what's happening to you, but it's just to give you kind of an example of the type of thing we're looking at. So this thing that you're having to do over and over to help them with their insecurity, you've come to a point where you've kind of hit a light bulb moment where you've realized, that's why they do this. That's why they're a thorn in my side. I understand why this situation is a thorn in my side, whether it's a person's behavior or whether it's a situation. You're having this light bulb moment where you get it. It's like, aha, that's why this is the way it is. Now, here's the thing. I think once you get it, once you understand it, I think you recognize that that's not something that you have control over to the point that you can change it. The only thing you have control over is what you can do as far as your reaction to it. And so I think that you're accepting that, okay, this is just the way it is. What am I going to do? That's your question you're asking yourself. What am I going to do to not let this thing drive me crazy all the time, because it's not going to change? Or at least it's not going to change just because I want it to change. All right. And so I see you getting really focused on really looking at what's the solution for this for me? How do I handle this in the most healthy way possible? Okay. So that's what we see there for inner work. All right. Next thing that we're looking at, Taurus. This talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. Okay, this to me looks, Taurus, like you have a lot of hope that you can come into a place where you feel abundant. You feel like you have enough to do all the things that you want to do. And it looks to me like you've been in this place before where you felt abundant. You felt like you had everything you needed to do all the things you want to do. And you want to come back into that abundant place. So it looks to me like you may even be considering, maybe I should do what I used to do to come back into that abundant place. But you definitely have high hopes of coming into that abundant space again. And I think, like I said, I think you've been here before. I think you've been in that abundant place. This is hopes that you can come back around to it again. All right. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about something that you stand for, you defend, something maybe you explained to somebody. Somebody's going to want you to explain this, or they're going to confront you about this maybe even. And you're going to have to stand up for this decision, this situation, whatever it is, a person sometimes. What do we have? So it looks like you've got a situation on your hands where you are missing somebody, and this person that you're missing is somebody who betrayed you in some way. And you have made the healthy choice of moving away from that situation, not staying in that victim energy, not staying in all that drama, and moving away from the situation. And so somebody's asking you about it. Maybe they're surprised at how quickly you're recovering. Maybe they think that just by moving away, you don't miss this person. But somebody is asking you about this situation, or maybe even confronting you. And after you've talked to them about this situation, how they see you as somebody who used to have someone who's really close to you, maybe even a partner, and that you just accepted whatever it was that this partner said. They see it as you just accepted it. You didn't fight it. You didn't try to change their mind. You didn't throw a big fit. You didn't stomp. You didn't try to block them from doing whatever it was that they wanted to do. And now they see you as on your own and taking the time to search into your own depths to find the wisdom that you need to find. That's how they see you right now. Okay. Let's look at your flex point. Now your flex point has to do with the lesson or experience of the time frame. We all have lessons or experiences. And the lesson or experience is generally where our perspective ends up getting shifted. And as our perspective shifts, then that shifts the trajectory of our lives. So we're going to look at the lesson or experience. We're going to also look at what happens as you incorporate that lesson or experience into your life. Hello, Tauruses. I'm a Taurus rising, actually. And then we're going to look at where we see you at the end of this time frame after that. For right now, lesson or experience. lesser experience is that there's somebody who is angry at you, and this is making you feel really apathetic towards them. I don't feel like you feel angry towards them. I feel like you feel apathetic. You're just like, who cares? You want what from me? Really? And it also has you feeling like, it has you feeling sort of left out in the cold. So their anger, whatever their anger is expressing in a really cold way, because it is making you feel left out in the cold, so much so that you just really don't care about doing anything to support or encourage or uplift this person anymore. Whatever they have done in anger has really put you off of doing anything that might boost them in a positive way. So at the same time that we're having this lesson experience, Taurus, there is some truth that's coming out. And the truth that's coming out is actually bringing an end to something that was in our lives or in our experience. And when that happens, actually, that's bringing us some healing. You know, I always say the truth is what sets you free. And I truly, truly believe that. Here's what's happening. The truth is coming out. It's bringing an end to something. And it's bringing healing to us. You know, that's that freedom when we can let go of something and feel okay about it, you know, and not just force ourselves to do it because we know that that's what we need to do to be healthy. But when we can let go of something and be okay about it, that's when the healing comes in. And that's what I see happening there. Also, at the same time, I do feel like you're waiting. You're kind of holding your breath. It almost comes to me like, okay, well, now that I've accepted that, you know, this truth that you've told me, now that that has brought things to an end and I'm able to bring some healing because I understand things now that I know more of the picture, I feel like you're just kind of waiting here to see what happens. You're waiting to see if this person that you found out the truth about is going to be fickle and is going to end up on your doorstep again in one way or another. Whether it's a romantic partner, business partner, whatever, I think you're waiting to see. I think you're half expecting to see this person come back and realize that they made a mistake. That's what you're waiting for here. And you're expecting that. It's just a matter of time before you're celebrating and you're happy because this person comes back. Are you celebrating and happy because you want this person who betrayed you in some way to come back? Or are you planning on celebrating and being happy because it just feels good to know that, I guess I'm not chopped liver after all if you're back here. And you may not have any intention. I mean, this could go either way on these cards. You may or may not have any intention of, you know, renewing whatever that relationship was with this person when they come back. But I do think you're half expecting that they will. You're kind of waiting to see, will they or won't they? But I think what I saw there was that you've already accepted that whatever this is what it is and it's over. So I think that if they do come back, I'm not really going to hold my breath for you to take them back with open arms. I don't think you'll necessarily be mean with them either. I just don't see you taking whatever your relationship was back to the old level when they show back up. That trust isn't there anymore. So where do we see you at the end of this particular cycle? We do see you actually blocking somebody out. Look at that. And I think we're blocking, I think we're seeing you block this out because you're recognizing that this is toxic now. Maybe it wasn't toxic before. Maybe. But it certainly is toxic now. And you certainly don't want that toxicity in your life. So you are blocking that out. And it comes across to me the way I'm seeing these cards. By blocking that out, I think that in some ways that's hard for you because there was some security in having whatever that partnership was with this person. But at the same time, you're sort of walking that tightrope of doing without that security, but also doing for yourself and doing well for yourself, you know, and at the same time, like missing that person. You've got these things back and forth. It's almost like being homesick, being person sick, missing that person, but doing fantabulous in life as you move forward anyway. And I think that as you are missing that person, at the same time, you know that you wouldn't be doing as well if you were still partnered up with that person in whatever way that was and not doing your own thing, I think you realize you wouldn't be doing as well. That you're doing as well as you are because you've kind of become unfettered from this other person and from their demands and from their insecurities, and you can move forward productively for yourself in a single-minded kind of way as this unfettered individual. So yeah, you're missing them, but you also know that at the same time you couldn't do as well as you're doing if they were still in the picture. And so you are cutting them out because you know it makes sense to you. You know it makes sense. And besides, that truth came up that brought you some healing so that you can do this and feel okay. All right? So that's what we have for your monthly reading. I do appreciate you guys being here. As I said earlier, thank you so much. I am going to, as soon as I shut down the camera, take these cards I talked about, your subconscious leanings, and we're going to just break that down into some more specifics about, what is this that isn't giving you what you want as you work with it? Is it a person? Is it a project? And if so, what type, what area of life are we talking about? And we're going to look at, what are you focusing on moving forward? We want to really zoom in on this and see what's going on in that subconscious, because the subconscious is ahead of what actions the consciousness takes. So we're just really getting a sneak peek at what's coming down the road when we look at this. All right, so let me wrap this up. Thank you all very much for your support. I do appreciate it. And if I don't see you in the expanded, then I'll see you on the next video. Everybody have a fantastic month. Peace out.